Well, you and I had talked about that off air. How is that going to play a factor here? You get to see the luxury being last of how the competition lays out, being the last guy to ride. You know, if Garrett's got the top score, Chad sees what he needs to do.
Yeah, it's definitely an advantage. Maybe not as much as in some disciplines where you can pull out the craziest thing ever. These guys are doing dialed technical lines, but it's an advantage. You get to go last, you get to know what you need to score, and you know what your other runs score.
And this is it. We are underway. It's an 18-minute jam session. These guys run in order. The runs are 45 seconds in length. The way it works, the best possible run score you can get is a 50. We take your two best runs, total them together, and hopefully that has you leaving Barcelona with some X Games hardware around your neck.
Jeremiah putting a run together here. Up until that point, it was really clean. Nice feeble to bar 180.
You are allowed 2 falls. Now, when we say that, that doesn't mean that the falls don't count against your score. It just means if you have a fall, you're allowed to get up and continue your run. If you have a second fall and there's still time on the clock for you, then the run's done.
All of these guys in this final are very talented riders. They wouldn't be here at the X Games if they weren't, but to make it through the next round and be in this final field shows what they're capable of. And Simone, he's capable of a crank arm grind and then pop it into an ice pick right at the end.
Yeah, ice pick stall to coming out the hard way, 270 the hard way out.
And like I said, I spoke to him earlier, and the fact that his riding, you know, these are kind of small features that, you know, technical type riding that he's right up his alley, but it also creates something where the risk reward, you maybe step off a little bit more on some of the technical tricks than you do if you're just sending like a big 3 down the stair set.
Well, with the extra 3 minutes, remember the opening heats, they were 15 minutes long. This is an 18-minute jam session. We got through the rotation 3 times in both those opening heats, so this time around with the extra 3 minutes, you're gonna get an extra run, and it's your 2 best that count.
Nice nollie to bar up there. He also earlier did a long manual, popped a 360 in. He does those better than anybody I've ever seen.
So the nollie part of that, when you lift off from the front tire, coming down those stairs to flat. So that'll do it for Simone Baracco for his first run. Bring up Bruno Hoffmann next in the lineup.
That was beautiful. Nose manual to 180 down that hubble ledge. He did that in prelims. He does it so perfect. Look at these rollback popping around. I laugh because these are things you're supposed to take 10 tries to get a video clip of, and he's just pulling those runs. Feeble, hard 180 out, popping up to manual. 180 out, and a full cap off. Like, putting it together here in Barcelona. This is great. Great to see. Nose bump 360. He's still got 8 seconds left in his run. It seems like his run, he's done so much. It seems like it's longer than the others. Another feeble hard 180. Roll back half cabin to manual. And he tried this in prelims. Let's see if he can pull it clean. Manual around. Feeble 180 out.
Finish to that run.
You heard that buzzer sound now.
But he was in the middle of
Check Kerley lines earlier. I'm like, he might go for 1 minute here. But that run was unbelievable.
Well, Bruno putting together a solid first run here.
Let's not prematurely crown Garrett or Chad Kerley because that run was unbelievable. Yeah, look at Garrett. That's the highest score of the day, and a 43 of all numbers.
That's the highest single run score of the day. By the way, Bruno, our only German rider in the lineup, and that's fitting because we're on stop 4 of 6 right now, and the next one, we're going to Munich, Germany next month.
Yes, and this is Stevie Churchill on the course now, and he's putting quite a run together too. Big 540 to fakie, pulling it clean, and a 3-whip. He's just got so much upper body strength. He just has the ability to just do bunny hop tricks that are meant to be box jump tricks.
Last couple of seconds here for Stevie Churchill here in round number 1.
It's a really solid run. It's not at the level of Bruno Hoffmann score-wise, in my opinion, but it's going to be the second best score of this heat so far.
Going back to Bruno with that 43, you mentioned that's the highest single run score we've seen today thus far. Look at this.
540 to fakie, but just with authority, you know, landing it, popping right out, and then hitting the next obstacle right in front of you.
So Stevie gets a 38, and here we go.
Garrett
Reynolds
Bar catch bar 360 down.
Twice around with the handlebars.
Magic bars is what they were saying at first when Garrett came onto the scene in park events, and he just has the ability to throw the bars at any time, any place, and get it done. 540 to fakie there.
And look, we talked about this earlier, no pressure for him. It's not a contest in his mind. He's just out there having a session with his friends. You see the smile on his face.
A lot of riders say that. When Garrett says it, I believe it. He just looks like a guy out riding. Tire ride down to whip out. Like he did in prelims, but way cleaner. Feeble, bar spin 180 out. This run is dialed. Once he got to finish it off.
Bar spin to 180 out of that manual.
And just so clean.
Tail whip over that wedge to wedge gap, and there you go.
I apologize if I get giddy on air.
He had a couple of slip-ups in his heat.
I love watching Garrett ride anytime, any place, but to see, like, pressure, if he's got pressure, he's not feeling it, because that run was perfection.
Catch, sends the handlebars around a second time.
Oh, double tire ride, whip out. 41 for Garrett, though. He's behind Bruno Hoffmann. I thought the run was unbelievable, and so was Bruno's. And this just sets up for all the more interesting in the final.
Well, look out.
Kerley, top qualifier going down. That alone will be enough to keep this score below Garrett and Bruno Hoffmann. But, you know, there's more runs to come.
I was going to say,
and there's more time in this run. Don't count out Chad Kerley. He's got plenty to offer here, but any fall like that early is just going to kind of slow things down a little bit.
Yeah, remember, it's your two best runs that count out here, so we're only in round one here. Still about 11:45 to go here on the jam session clock. But
yeah, this won't do it for Kerley in terms of the score. This will hopefully be the score that he drops. But again, I say this a lot about events. I wouldn't want to judge this one. I mean, the perfection that Hoffmann and Reynolds rode with, like, very difficult to compare those two runs when they're doing different tricks on different obstacles and they're doing them so perfectly. But at some point, you got to put a score in and have this thing shape up.
Well, ESPN has some great MLB matchups coming up on Sunday and Monday. On Sunday at 8 Eastern, Detroit faces one of my favorites, the Texas Rangers. Then on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, the New York Yankees take on the Baltimore Orioles. Going back up to the top here at round two in the final. Jeremiah Smith back on course.
And that risk reward we talked about earlier, Jeremiah going for some really tech stuff in this run, and it's not paying off for him. You know, you don't pull that stuff with the same consistency as some of the big tricks that you just send it. And this course lends itself to the tech tricks. There's not as many big features where someone can just do the craziest thing down the biggest rail. So they're adapting to the circumstances.
Whoa.
And
loses his shoe.
A lot of guys are trying to do this here after Jake Brown in Big Air losing his shoe, getting on CNN. Everyone wants to be interviewed by Larry King, and I keep telling them, it's not going to happen, guys. It's been done.
I was wondering where you were going with that, but thank you. Taking it back to 2007 for us there.
What
went for a candy bar and then got his heel hung up on the crossbar on the way back.
Don't do those if you're riding a tune tote. You will kick the iPod. Well, actually, it was a Walkman. You'll kick the Walkman right off of the tune tote. Grind the bar out by Simone, by the way.
We are in the middle of the BMX Street final. Just under 10 minutes left to go here in this jam session. Jimmy Coleman here in the booth with Dennis McCoy, Jordan Whitley, our sideline reporter. And this is the match for the medals. Your top guy right now, Bruno Hoffmann, with a score of 43. Simone Baracco on course right now. Keep in mind, two best scores total together. That'll hopefully put you on the podium here at X Games Barcelona. Oh, Simone.
Well, to give you some perspective on Bruno Hoffmann's score, the 43, that tops Jeremiah Smith's 42 combined runs. Now, Jeremiah had a tough go in both those runs with a lot of mistakes, but still a lot of stuff that he pulled really dialed. So.
And if you're just joining us, the best possible run score that you can get here is a 50. Again, as I mentioned, two best total together, so we'll see the leaderboard change up quite a bit here as we get into the second round, and everybody gets a second run score here. But this is the guy right now with the highest single run score, Bruno Hoffmann, with that 43. And
does he look like he's charging it more this run? I mean, sometimes everybody just needs to taste a little bit of success, like, wow, 43, and he's thought of this run well in advance, but he just seems like he's hitting it with some enthusiasm here. Wow, hard 360 off of the feeble. Hard meaning it's harder to do. That's the easiest way to explain it quickly. Ice pick grind flowing. Notice he's got his credentials handy too in case he wants to go into athlete catering between runs. You know, he's thinking of everything out here.
He's got just under 10 seconds left on this run here. High-speed toothpick grind down the rail.
Oh man, I'm just.
That's the buzzer right there.
Yeah, you know, and he stepped up there, hit whatever rollback manual tech trick he was trying to do there would have really put an exclamation point on that run. But this is going to be a high-scoring run, and I hate to predict these things, but I can't imagine a scenario where he doesn't medal at least. And that feeble to hard 360 out, I mean.
43 and a 35 gives him a 78 total.
Well, when I spoke that I expected a score bigger than the 35, the dab at the end there could have cost him the difference. But I mean,
I was just saying, because he was going into that trick before the buzzer sounded. Did that make the dab count in the judges' eyes, you
Hard
think?
to say, but with Stevie Churchill sitting on a 38, you combine a couple of 38s and you're right there within striking distance. But you know, and that's making the assumption that Chad Kerley's going to be dropping that 27 and being one of the top two guys. We should not be making so many assumptions, but you
There's
can't help it.
still time left on the clock.
I'll assume
7:20 to go.
Not many people are going to three-whip down that, but Stevie Churchill makes it look easy.
Here we go.
Hang five.
The hang five.
Grows up in Bristol, Connecticut. Skate park, you know, down not too far from his house, in the home of ESPN. How cool is that? And here he is at the X Games in Barcelona, thanks to ESPN. Three-whip off of the tiniest bank to flat.
He just rides out of it, no problem.
Yeah, he makes it look easy. It's not off of that, certainly.
So that first run for him was a 38. Garrett Reynolds.
Oh, wow. 180 bar onto crooked grind, back off. That's a Garrett signature move. What? Bar into ice pick grind, bar out. I just love seeing this. Like, Garrett's got a smile on his face. He's enjoying it. He doesn't look like a guy that's won 5 medals, 540 to fakie, 5 medals, pressure to make it 6. No, he looks like a guy that is enjoying his stay in Barcelona, making the most of it, and we'll see if the score reflects it, because so far so good on this run.
So 35, that second run there for Stevie Churchill gives him a 73. Garrett Reynolds is on point here in round 2.
Nollie bar 180 again, down whipping over the little pyramid hip. That fast plant 360 that we saw Sean Sexton do earlier, little styly move, and Garrett did it with style. No.
Right there, the buzzer. So
no, I said because you're right there.
I posed that question. It's before time when you start the trick, but then the buzzer sounds. How does that play?
It factors in. Trust me. Judges saw it. They see it.
I hate to make you walk that plank twice.
No, but they saw it. They saw that happen. You know, you're on your last trick. If it counts when you pull something good, it counts when you fall over.
I agree.
But you know, it's not some crazy crash that in his run. It's at the end.
Well, he's consistent. He's got 2 41s, give him a score of 82 combined.
And you know that makes him the leader. But he does not have the highest score. So the door's open for Bruno Hoffmann, and the door's certainly still open for Chad Kerley here. I said he's one of the most consistent riders. He's got to get that dialed here. And look at this run. He's just hangover tooth grind. He throws these combos together that he could take up 45 seconds on one long trick. It's like watching a flatland run. Oh, no!
Slips out, he washes out going.
That did not look pretty either. He
up that hubble ledge.
Sure, he'll return for another run, but that slam wasn't pretty. Yeah, I think you're right. I think his tire washed out right before he took off. That's a big, tall hubble edge. He's the only guy you're seeing out here using that, you know, to hop up and do tricks off the top. In the prelim, he hopped up that and did a 540 to fakie.
Well, that one's
one of the moves
good.
of the prelims.
See him, he's a little tentative on the left side there.
Oh, yeah.
Just washed out,
He
going up.
hung back wheel, caught up, but where that started, it's hard to say, but it certainly didn't end well. And
he took all the brunt of that on the left side on the impact.
It looks like, depending on how many runs these guys have, I mean, he's basically got 2 throw-out scores. Unless they get a 4th run, we're not going to be seeing Chad Kerley dethrone Garrett Reynolds. Doesn't mean that Bruno Hoffmann's not capable of it. And it won't be Jeremiah either after that fall. But
loses the shoe.
There he goes with the shoe thing again. Larry King is no longer doing interviews on a regular basis. People need to get that through their heads. Leave the shoes on.
Well, this is going to be key if we can get through this and have some time left on the session clock. in order to get these guys another run. Sunday, the Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series continues in Kansas on the Heartland Park Drag Strip. The Kansas Nationals Finals on Sunday at 8 on ESPN2 and also live on Watch ESPN.
Yeah, and Jeremiah here, you know, it's certainly not working out for him today in terms of getting on the podium. It's worked out for him to get into the final, even if he ends up in sixth place.
That's no small feat in itself.
It's not, and he's the
such a stacked field here at Street.
Dialed rider, young guy that's going to be around for years to come. If I'm him, if he gets another hit at this course, you just go out and you just try the most tech things ever, so at least you get a clip of something unbelievable.
Simone Baracco back on course. Just under 3.5 left to go here.
Nice feeble up, back down, 180 out. Yeah, you can't forget that these guys, not only are they riding for like fun and riding for pride, there's 3 medals to give out. We keep focusing on who's going to win gold, but winning a bronze at X Games Barcelona, that's something that makes you all smile. So none of these guys should be sleeping on their runs. I mean, we've got 3 solid scores, but if you've got a really small score to drop, all of a sudden you've got a solid score.
Last couple of seconds here for Simone.
Yeah, 540 to fake it. Didn't quite pull it. And that just shows you with Stevie Churchill nailing that trick earlier why it scores what it did.
So your top 3, as we approach the 2.5-minute mark, it's Reynolds, Hoffmann, and Churchill. Kerley sitting just outside the podium right now in 4th position as we bring up Bruno Hoffmann once again, highest single run score.
That's beautiful. And nose man at 180, he's pulling that perfectly. At 540 to fake it over that little pyramid. This is a good run. It's going to be very interesting. I mean, he has a good mix of technical riding and big burly riding, much like Garrett does. And it could be him that dethrones Garrett at some point. Well,
with the time winding down, there's still 22 seconds left on this run, and we're at the 2-minute mark right now. So this will be the end of the run order.
Wow.
Once we get through everybody here, they won't get another run.
Yeah, so it could be a victory lap for Garrett Reynolds if he gets into this thing still sitting on top, but it's too soon to say that. This run that Bruno Hoffmann is putting together is another incredible one.
So 43 was that first run score for him. He's got a 35 the second go around.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a couple of new medalists in this event. You know, between Stevie Churchill and Bruno Hoffmann, it's brand new to them, and props to them, man. They're both great riders, well respected. Score 36. No, we're going to have a.
Well, if he's able, you know, Bruno.
Stevie Churchill's not completely out of this yet, but it looks like Garrett Reynolds, if he's going to be tasting victory during his last lap.
And Bruno would be the first non-American to take a medal in BMX Street at the X Games.
Very interesting, and that's very strange. Because street is something that you see all over the world, much like all of BMX, but all over the place there's street riders that rip. And here's one of them, Stevie Churchill from Bristol, Connecticut.
He's sitting in a bronze medal position as of right now, and you can see right there in the right-hand corner of your screen the session clock to the left there. That is how much time's left? 35 seconds, so this will be it. We'll run through the order, we'll finish it out so everyone gets the same amount of runs.
He won't have far to drive if they want to do like a post-medal interview with Stevie Churchill in a week or two.
So 38 and a 35 for him. We'll see if this run score will bump him up the ladder, and that'll bring up Garrett Reynolds, and then we'll finish it out. Wow, whoa. Stevie got a 40.
It did not change the outcome, but no. Wow, what a way. That feels great for your last score to, your last run to be your highest score, and you're finishing it off with a medal. And now we got Garrett Reynolds. We still have Chad Kerley to put in a run afterwards. He's going to want to bump up his overall finish, but just everyone knows this, I think. You hear the applause out there in the riders, and again, for a guy to represent street royalty in BMX, you couldn't have a better guy. He's always looking out for his friends. He's just happy-go-lucky, riding because he loves it. And we talk about the short list of people that have won golds in certain different events. There's no list. There's no list in street. There's just a dynasty, a Reynolds dynasty. It's amazing. I mean, this one is a little less dramatic than the last one because he didn't have to pull it out in his last run. But you can't change the fact that just Garrett, year in and year out, proves he is the best. And that's just, we're not just talking contest. Look at his video parts. The guy is unbelievable.
Well, Garrett's got an 82 total. Now, Chad's not out. I mean, mathematically, he could still do this. He would need a 50 pretty much, which is the best possible run score that you could get. You see everybody over there congratulating Garrett right there, who's in the driver's seat right now to make this 6 in a row. Oh, Garrett up the ante there.
Yes!
He got a 42, so it's an 83 now that Garrett's got total.
And that, you know, that trick, manual, the big 180 down the steps, that's another memory I have from 2008 with the big Garrett Reynolds versus Van Homan showdown. When Garrett popped the long manual and 180 out, it was just like, wow, street's gone to the next level.
Well, up in that score by 1 point, he mathematically eliminated Chad right there with that fall there.
Well, and when I say street riding's going to the next level, this guy right here, Chad Kerley, is one of the guys taking it to the next level. Some of the nose manuals he does.
Varsity manual to manual across the flat.
Yeah, he's a little off today, but trust me.
We're going to be seeing a lot of him.
You're going to see a lot of him. And I think it is shaping up to kind of a Kerley versus Reynolds showdown. Although with the way Bruno Hoffmann rode today, and even Stevie Churchill, you know, Street is an event to watch. And there's guys all over the world that are good. So as the names change on who gets invited, this event's going to be great for years to come.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got to give props out to Bruno Hoffmann. He came out here and put down a huge first run. He's actually got the single highest run score out of this whole final with that 43.
And look at Chad Kerley, bumping up to a 67. It's not going to get him in medal contention, but, you know, 4th at X Games is nothing to frown upon.